Assalamu alaikum. Students, today we will discuss risk assessment Nebosh IG2 report. So, in this report, there are four parts of this report. We will discuss one by one in a series of lectures. So, the first part that I will discuss all the points that how we will fill these points. In the report, the name of the organization, we will write name of the organization. For example, they write National Jewelers Garage Limited, known as NGG. So we can write the company name. You can write your own company name or the other's name which located in your city. The second, site locations, you can write everywhere the city name or complete address or only the city name. Okay, so these 2 points will be meet. The third point, number of workers, how many workers in your organizations. You can write how many workers means that 20 worker, 24. For example, they write 24, you can write whatever in your organizations available. Then the general description. In this, we need three things. The first, production or service of the company. The second point, that is the activities undertaken, and the third one is the shift pattern. These three things we will mention in this part, general description of the organization. NGG is a medium size garage with offices, vehicles repairs shop, vehicle repair shops, and paint spray booths. The business does a lot of repairs and maintenance on commercial vehicles and body repairs on vehicles, mainly cars and vans that have been involved in accidents for insurance companies. Servicing and MOTs are also carried out for the members of the public. So, in these sentences, they mentions the production and services of this garage. They are repairing and they are painting, spray painting. That is their services, their products. They are repairing the vans and maintenance. These are products of this company or this garage. And they are also servicing the vehicles. So typical activities undertaken includes moving spare parts from the store to workshops, engine repairs, activities relating to servicing or MOTs, body repair, draining fuel or oil, spray booth activities including the use of paints that are solvent based. They also mention the activities. The activities are moving spare parts from the store to workshop. This one activity, engine repair. The second activity, and the servicing MOTs relating. That is activities also they mention. Body repairs, that is also activity. Draining fuel or oils. Spray booth activities including use of paint base that are solvent based. They mention the activities also in this sentence. Then the garage operates from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays and weekdays and is closed in the weekend days. So they are now talking about the shift pattern, that their workings from 8 to 6 p.m. and the garage is closed on weekend days or weekends, that is a Sunday. Workers are only required to work 7 hours per day. So there are staggered start and finish time in place. So the workers only work for 7 hours. So in this, they mention the shift pattern. They mention the time from which time the duty start and from which time the duty finish. They also mention that in this garage is one shift. You can write like this. So even they mention the hours for which they are working. So in this, the general description of the organization, we write three things. The first one, the products and services provided by this garage. The second one, the activities that is carried out in this workshop. And the third one is the shift patterns. So please be remember these activities. If we will write more activities, because our hazards, our second part, the risk assessment part, that we will the hazards we will take from these activities. Please be remember that hazards we will take from these activities. If you will mention more activities, so the hazard, this will be easy for you, that we will identify easily the hazards. Okay. The other description of the area to be included in the risk assessment. The area which we will include the risk assessment, that we will mention. So here they mention the risk assessment cover the garage and spray booth activities. The office area has a separate risk assessment. So they write here the risk assessment cover the garage and offices, spray booth. The office have a separate risk assessment. So you can write here from your company for which you are preparing this report or risk assessment. You will write the area for which you are doing the risk assessment. Just mention that area. Okay. This is just example from the NEBOSH. Then any other relevant information. The finance director who reports directly to managing director has directly responsibility for health and safety. The person, you will mention the person who is responsible for health and safety, because you look here that they mention the finance director, that he is responsible for health and safety, but you can write, if there is any person who is responsible, for example, safety officer, safety manager, or construction manager, that is responsible for health and safety, you can write. Okay. So the NEBOSH is checking your understanding to the NEBOSH for this report. They are checking just your understanding. Okay. So in this, you will meet the first point is the organization name, second location, number of workers. Then in general description, I mentioned you that we need three things: products or services in this, the activities, and shift pattern. And then the area for which you are preparing the risk assessment, that you will mention from your company. And then the responsible person to whom you report, to whom the person who is responsible for health and safety, and that you will mention that person. Okay. The second, the part B of this part 1, outline how the risk assessment was carried out. This should include sources of information consulted, who you spoke to, and how you identify the hazards, what is already being done, any additional controls or actions that may be required. In this section, you will identify the sources of information. We already studied this. We have external source and internal source. External source, we will take the information for the organization from ILO, International Labour Organization. If the ILO, the information is not there, then we will use the HEC websites. If in these two websites the information is not available, then we can use the other source, but we will mention that I already checked in the ILO and HEC website, but the information I didn't find out. So we need to write that one. And then in the organization to whom you spoke, you will also mention, and how you identify the hazards, and what you already saw for the control measures, you will mention, and the other control measure that you will provided, you will also mention that one in this. So how they write, I started by looking up references to good practice relating to our organizations. So he's saying that I started references for my organizations. The HEC website had lots of resources. For example, health and safety is motor vehicles repairing and essentials industries, HEC HSG 261 health safety guidance. HSG means health safety guidance 261. The website was good source of information. So here I mentioned the website from which I take the information for this vehicle repairs and motors, for the safety of health and safety of vehicles and motor repairs, that is available in HEC websites. After looking at source of information, I then went around the workshop and talked to the people who were doing the job. So when I find out the information from this website, then I went to the workshop and talked to the workers about their job. They gave me information that was not obvious from just a visual inspection. For example, a lot of the workers didn't know that there were dust masks available, or the reasons why these should be worn. So I find out the information from the workers. I talked to them, and they told me some information that is not obviously available there. So I talked to them, and there I saw there was a lot of dust mask, but the worker don't know that dust mask for what. They don't know, because they need to wear, but they don't know that dust mask mean that is existing. They have some control measure, but they don't know. Then I also checked accident book to see what types of incidents had occurred over the last 12 months and whether any of these accidents were recurring. I also checked the reasons for sick absence, again to see if there were any recurring themes for ill health. So this is internal information. I check the accident books, the sickness records. You can write, because this internal. Internally, you check the sickness record, incidents, near misses, the accidents book, and I also check that any accidents that is reoccur or ill health reoccur in the last 12 months. So these you can write for your company that I checked the accident and incidents books, and I also check the absentee books. I also check the sickness records. So you can write. So then, when assessing the control measure, now the control measure, you want to check the control measure. Assessing the control measures, I also refers to some HEC approved code of practice or guidance documents. For example, when looking at control measures for dust in the workplace, I refers to dust in the workplace general principles of protections guidance note EH44 fourth editions. This is a website, HEC website, from where I refer some code of practices for the dust in the workplace. So this you given the reference. This is for what? For control measure, that we will take information from here, that how we will implement the control measure for this dust mask, because this is hazardous for this dust in the workplace. Sorry, for the dust in the workplace, I refer this website, and they gave us some approved code of practices, some control measures, which is advantageous for us. So in this section, we need these three things: sources of information, who spoke you, and how you identified the hazards. So this is the part one, in which we read these points. But the points which I mentioned, in this the left side, you this bullet points, we need to meet these 3 points in this section. And before this, we need to meet the name of the organizations, locations, number of workers, and then general description. I already told to you, in general description we need 3 things. What is that 3 things? The production or services, and the other one is the activities, and the third one is the shift pattern. And then the area for which we are preparing the risk assessment, we will mention that area, and the person who is responsible for the health and safety, we will mention that persons. Okay, so this was the lecture for the first part. Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.